Hey folks, how we doing? My name is Shauhin Davari. I'm a college professor. I teach at Orange Coast College down in Orange County, California. Anybody here do any hiring recently? Hiring? Cool. And as you go to check your diplomas for the people that are applying for the jobs, it's really easy, right? You just simply call up a phone number and they verify that the person got the diploma from the university that they said they got the diploma from. Oh wait, no, that's not how it works. It takes like 4 weeks for them to get back to you, and God forbid you're trying to hire more than 2 people at one time. There's not a single chance that you're actually gonna do the work because we're lazy, right? So today I wanna talk about how blockchain can make finding whether or not someone has their certificate or their diploma significantly easier. Let's see here. There we go. All right, so before we get started, we'll do a roadmap. We all love roadmaps. We're gonna talk about why the status quo sucks, how blockchain can fix the status quo, and then are there other opportunities for NFT diplomas to make other things not suck? First, we have a billion-dollar industry, which is diploma and certificate fraud. Anybody here know who Frank Abagnale Jr. is? Frank Abagnale Jr., very famous movie, yeah, our photographer knows. Very famous movie, Catch Me If You Can, with Leonardo DiCaprio, where Frank Abagnale Jr. is a huge fraudster. He rips off airlines. He pretends to be an airline pilot. He pretends to be a doctor. He pretends to be a lawyer. He pretends to do all these different things, and nobody caught him. It was incredibly easy to falsify diplomas, and nothing has changed. The way that diplomas, the way that certificates are issued today are incredibly easy to rip off, and there is a ton of fraud. Over 50% of new PhDs today are fake. Over 5,000 diploma mills operate within the United States every single day, and as soon as the FBI shuts them down, a new one opens up. For those of you that don't know what a diploma mill is, all it is it's a fake university that's like, instead of Harvard, it's like Harvard Red University. And they will issue a diploma, whatever type of diploma you want, for a small fee of like $200. You can be a PhD by the end of this talk. It's not hard. There's 500,000 fake degrees operating inside the United States right now, and it's across every single industry. Law, education's the #1 industry for diploma fraud. The #1 industry for diploma fraud is education itself. So we have a massive problem. And why is this a problem? Why does this continue to be a problem? There we go. Why does this continue to be a problem? Because the status quo is cumbersome. We as human beings are lazy. Our human nature is to believe people. That's why con men get away with so much. When someone submits a resume to you and they tell you, oh, I went to school at this university, I got such and such diploma, you want to believe them. You don't want to think that they're full of shit, and yet lots and lots of them are. Hiring booms are difficult. When you're hiring 10 people and you're waiting for 10 different universities to get back to you on 10 different timelines, you're just simply not going to wait that long. And consumer access to diploma and certification verification is zero. There is no easy way for you to verify that the electrician who's coming to your house to work on your home actually has their electrician license or that they're insured. There's no easy way for us as consumers to verify. We're not going to call the licensing board. We're just not going to do that. It's too cumbersome. So, can blockchain fix it? Fucking duh. Of course it can, right? Fix everything. It doesn't fix everything, right? Fraudsters will always try and stay one step ahead of the game. So it's not a cure-all. It's not going to cure absolutely everything. But it can fix quite a bit. It can make fraud detection significantly easier. One click of a button and you can tell, okay, cool, this came from this issuing organization to this person. It is in an NFT form, and we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. And you can tell very quickly whether or not the person's full of shit or not. And that's part of the beauty of blockchain, right? We're trying to find incontrovertible truth. And finding that in the diploma space is massively important. It's easy to verify, and all of a sudden, consumers now have access to verify whether or not someone has the qualification that they claim to have. Okay. Next, there are obstacles, right? Just because it can fix it doesn't mean that there aren't going to be massive obstacles within the educational and the certification space. The first one is onboarding jackasses, right? It's hard, right? The number one thing that everybody up here was talking about, how are we going to onboard more people? Well, I think one of the things that this would do by issuing NFT diplomas is all of a sudden you're onboarding massive swaths of people overnight. You're issuing them their diploma in an NFT format as well as their physical useless piece of paper that hangs in their office that nobody sees. But by doing that, you're onboarding a massive amount of people, not to mention administrators and educators and businesses as well. The next major obstacle, education moves slow. I sit in the meetings. I sit in the staff meetings, and they're awful. They're as awful as you would imagine. Easy wins. Easy wins take years to implement. And it's because of middle management. Anybody who's ever dealt with middle management understands middle management loves the status quo, right? Because anytime the status quo changes, it's the middle managers that are ones that may or may not get fired. So they are always trying to slow the process down. Then you have the massive holdup, which is integration with other massive organizations, things like LinkedIn, Monster, all these different hiring platforms. Integrating with those centralized platforms is a massive obstacle, both because as crypto people, you hate centralization, and the education space hates decentralization. We need to trust these foundational organizations that are such a huge player within the academic space, and we just don't. And then, of course, transferability of NFTs makes it so that they can't really be a degree, right? They can't be a diploma if you can then sell it. That's not how that works. And then how do you deal with people who have already graduated? What do you do with the alumni and the people that have already have their diploma? Well, you put it all on chain. And how? Well, there are some organizations that are doing that right now. BC Diploma is a centralized organization that will manage the relationship between the graduate and the institution. They're a wonderful organization. Their UI is gorgeous. It's beautiful. There are some issues. And then you have Proof of Humanity. I can't do the whole 2-minute elevator pitch for both businesses in a 10-minute talk, but Proof of Humanity is another organization that will kind of run the interaction between your graduates or your certificate owners and the actual person itself. But what I think actually will help is the thing that Vitalik put out in January of this year called soulbound tokens. Y'all have heard of soulbound tokens? Yes, y'all knew this was coming? Okay, some of you were like, yeah, fucking get there. I got it. Cool, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you. These are non-transferable, they're account-bound, and what they're really looking to do is prove that you earned something. Anybody who's played a video game, World of Warcraft, anybody who's played like Overwatch or any major video game, you know that the thing that you can purchase is not worth nearly as much as the thing that you earned over time. You wear those like badges of honor in a way that you don't wear your skin. You're not nearly as proud of the skin that you purchased as you are the achievement that you have. Now, the other problem with that is you can't use that achievement in any meaningful way. You can't use your diploma other than to say, I have a diploma. That would change if we created soul-bound tokens. Now, with soul-bound tokens, it's very easy. Educational institution issues the soul-bound token to your account. You tell them what account to send it to, and then it's linked to your account forever, and it's actually linked to you personally. In his paper, he talks about how you can transfer an SBT to a different account. Let's say you want to create another account, and you want to move your SBT, but it's account bound. So how do you do that? Well, you could submit that to a Kleros court. A Kleros court will rule, okay, cool, this is the person, and they are asking for them to transfer their own SBT to a different account. So that is something that is possible. You can change accounts and still maintain the integrity of your SBT, diploma, or certificate. There we go. Okay, so what are the other benefits? What's other things that are gonna suck less if we have NFT diplomas and certificates? Number one, the biggest criticism that I hear from my students, from my friends, I'm sure you all hear it too, crypto's a big Ponzi scheme, right? The only utility is number go up. Well, now we have a utility that is making something in the real world that is essentially useless, useful. How? How are we going to make diplomas more useful by making them SBTs? Very simple. Number one, proof for the people, right? You now have consumer access to verify someone's certificate, their education, their licensing, their accomplishments. All of that is verifiable on-chain with the click of a button. Instead of having them email your university, you have them click a link in your resume, which is something that people could actually do very easily. Your electrician shows up to your house. Could I see your license, please? They open up their QR code. You scan their QR code. It takes you and shows you, okay, cool, this person got a license from this organization, and it's in their account. Very easy for you to be able to check that. This is significantly less scary to men than it is to women, by the way. The electrician example, I do see people are like, what? Yeah, women want to check because you're letting a random person into your home. Dudes are like, whatever. Okay. Next, you have integration, the ability to actually onboard hundreds of thousands of young people into the space very, very quickly. Oh man, I'm already over time. The last thing, I think in some ways, the most important thing is the value difference and the ability to leverage. Warren Buffett, and I'm sure we can all boo this man, right? We want to boo him together? Can we collectively boo him? Sure, go ahead. Boo, perfect, yeah. Warren Buffett very famously at Columbia University during their graduation offered every single graduate $100,000 for 10% of their future earnings. Why? Because they were graduating from Columbia. He's not nearly as much of a fucking degenerate as the rest of you are. I guarantee you, y'all would give much better terms to graduates based on much shittier education, and people would be stoked to have those loans for ongoing returns for the original investors based on a diploma. Leveraging your diploma is something that I think might be dystopian to some of you, but I don't think it's any more dystopian than the way that education works today. Thank you so much. If you are in the education space and you have a passion for this space actually happening and doing something, if you are in the blockchain space, you're a creator of a blockchain, start reaching out to educational institutions, get them involved, run coding camps for their students. If we want onboarding, we have to be good ambassadors, and ambassadorship starts with education. Thank you so much, friends. Bye.